talk about Doctor Who. Alright, okay, alright, relax. Harry Potter nerds had to deal with it however long ago. It's time to take your medicine too, Whovians. So, let's discuss what exactly is this cultural phenomenon. Doctor Who is a British science fiction television show produced by the BBC. The program depicts the adventures of a Time Lord, a time-traveling humanoid alien known as the Doctor. He explores the universe in his Tardis, a sentient time-traveling spaceship. Its exterior appears as a blue British police box, which was a common sight in Britain in 1963 when the series first aired. That was 1963, by the way, when the show first started. As in, the show's been on for like 50 years. That's ridiculous. That would be like if Star Wars was just one long giant TV show instead of 3 great films and 3 wet farts. Along with a succession of companions, the Doctor faces a variety of foes while working to save civilizations, help ordinary people, and right wrongs. The Doctor has been played by 13 actors, each one playing a different version of the same character, because he regenerates into a totally different form when the actor is too old or wants too much money. If you want more detail or, an actual description that makes sense, look it up on Wikipedia. But nevertheless, we're going to be discussing the first full-length feature film in theaters starring the Doctor. It was also the first color adventure of the Doctor and was filmed in 1965. Now, an interesting wrinkle about that, this film was made a year before the death of William Hartnell, the first Doctor. So, he may look a little ragged in this performance, but in any case, let's take a look.
Most exciting.
That is not William Hartnell. That's not even Patrick Troughton, who played the second Doctor. That's Dr. Van Helsing. That's Grand Moff Tarkin. That's Peter Cushing. Why is Peter Cushing the Doctor here? Oh, this theme song is swinging 60s as fuck. Like Austin Powers grooves to this tune. James Bond would seduce somebody at dinner to this jam. Like, this is ridiculous. Why is Peter Cushing Doctor Who? Oh, and by the way, his name is actually Doctor Who in this movie, implying that the surname is actually Who. Unlike anything in the actual series. One of the major points of the series that continues to this day is that we don't actually know what the Doctor's name is. He's just the Doctor. The Who part comes from funny little bits of dialogue about who the Doctor is, and because, you couldn't just name a television show the mysterious Doctor person. But no, in this version, his name is literally Doctor Who. Like, Sheila and Sebastian Who-Channon came over through Ellis Island in the 20s and had to shorten it to Who through customs.
Let's go and get ready.
Oh, who's that?
Grandfather, I've told you about him dozens of times. Her new boyfriend.
Grandpa? Time Lords generally aren't considered somebody's pop-pop. They're usually badass adventurers. So we meet the whole crew here, bumbling Dr. His granddaughters, who for some reason have their shit together, and the douche boyfriend, Ian. So despite none of this adding up, at least the Tardis is still here, and whoa, he pushed the convenience lever and now they're on an adventure. The Swiss family Zanusons land on some distant planet ravaged by war. Or, cheap set making, either or. After they've had an ass full of creepy noises and unexplained items in nature, they decide to get the fuck out. But of course, the TARDIS conveniently is malfunctioning. And what exactly is the problem?
The fluid has run out. Have you got a spare? Oh, you don't need one. This just needs refilling with mercury. I have some in my laboratory.
Supposing there isn't any mercury on his planet.
It's runoff of mercury, and some has spilled in the ship. This movie's going to take a real tragic turn when that poisoning kicks in. So they decide to go to the last remaining city and find some more mercury. It's there that they find motherfucking death robots. Okay, hold on a second. If you've never actually watched Doctor Who, then these bumper car washing machine looking things may just come across as silly. However, when you watch the television series, these become iconic villains to the Doctor. It's like Pennywise the Clown in Stephen King's It. Like, at first you're like, oh, Tim Curry, he looks so silly. But once you have context, you're like, oh, hey, there's that clown again. Oh, hey, there's a giant lump of shit in my pants again. Exterminate! Exterminate! Wow, what an all that guy is. What was he trying to do anyway? So, everyone's captured and starting to get sweaty and gross. Uh-oh, looks like they're poisoned. What could have caused that?
Our prisoners are showing signs of radiation sickness.
Oh, apparently it was radiation in the air. So my dicky joke earlier was half right? Oh, and by the way, it's revealed here that there wasn't a leak at all, and Doctor Who here is a selfish prick who wanted to look around when everyone else decided they wanted to go home. What an asshole. So the Daleks explained that there was once a war that broke across the land between them and the Thal people. Chemical warfare breaks out and poisons the planet, mutating the Thals and making it unlivable for the Daleks in their original form. Now they have to hide in the metallic form until they can gather medication to keep them immune from the radiation. They send a little girl out to attempt to find the medicine because, you know, they're evil. She makes it to the Tardis where she meets David Bowie. He's part of the Thal tribe and says they're peaceful, just want food, and have the medicine that will keep them from dying. He also gives her a weird Freddie Mercury cape for no reason. So she makes it back to the Dalek base, hands out the medicine to the other humans, and they begin working on a plan to get out. You know what one of my favorite aspects of the Doctor is? The slow rise to anger. You see, he's brilliant and caring, and he never ever kills unless there's literally no other option out there. So imagine my surprise when Peter Cushing figures out that driving over a blanket cuts the power to the Dalek chutes and just murders one of the minions. Response to this? They scoop the dead creature out, throw it on the floor, and jam Ian into the husk of it. Wonderful. So the Who group escapes the Dalek base and get back to the TARDIS, but oop, the Daleks took the little mercury piping, so now they legit can't get home. So they decide to call in the Bowie tribe to help get back in, grab the last piece to get the TARDIS going again, and GTFO. Ziggy Stardust wants no part though because they're douchebags. Pacifists. Wow. What an asshole Doctor Who is. So the tribespeople pretty much play the role of the Star Trek red shirts to build tension in the film. It doesn't. Meanwhile, the Daleks' new plan is fuck everything and nuke what's left of the planet. Because they're dicks, I guess? So they sneak back in, this lady's hair gets so big it becomes a fucking nominee for the Best Supporting Actor, and the Doctor and his granddaughter get captured again. Then we get a scene that sort of sucks all the fun out of the suspension of disbelief. So, yeah, the Daleks are really slow moving, but you just kind of accept that they're an actual threat. It's like when you watch the Child's Play movies. You're never going to get any enjoyment out of them if you're just sitting there the whole time going, I could kick that doll's ass! So, Ian, the boyfriend, and his team of married derps drop into the Dalek zone, and one of them has them in its sights, and they literally just trot away into an elevator, and the Dalek just slowly scoots after them and doesn't even come close to stopping them. How am I supposed to view them as an actual threat if they can't even stop loiterers? Okay, this is officially reaching Stormtrooper Ewok levels of ludicrous now. So, douche Ian and the Bowies come in and just fuck shit up. The Daleks go bananas, hosing everything down with their fog juice that causes shit to explode. And what does Doctor Who do during all this? The same thing he does throughout this whole movie, fuck all. I think that may be the aspect that upsets me most about this, is that the Doctor doesn't do anything. The granddaughters, the douche boyfriend, they do all the heavy lifting and save the day. It would be like in the first scene with the Daleks, when they first discover the family. If they just turned around and just murdered the Doctor, it would be exactly the same movie. Look, I consider myself a pretty decent Doctor Who fan. But watching this, it's hokey as hell. Let me put it like this. It's like when you watch the KTMA episodes of Mystery Science Theater, you're sitting there and the whole time in your head you're going, this is the greatest show ever made, this is the greatest show ever made. But at a certain point, you gotta step back and say, how did this not get the hell canceled out of it? You can see what they're going for in terms of rethinking the mythos for a different audience, but it's definitely just a hokey mess. So what am I saying exactly? I'm saying that there's better examples of everything that this movie goes for in other places. You want to see Daleks? Watch literally anything else from Doctor Who that involves Daleks. Hell, watch the Doctor Who orchestra concert, where the ones like bopping around between the trombone players. That captures their spirit more than this movie does. Peter Cushing is better in pretty much all the British projects he was involved in, like Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed, with his little bullshitty disguises and such. He's awesome in the Hammer Dracula films as Van Helsing, but he's just not really the bumbling type of character actor, so this is just a weird casting choice. David Bowie was better in The Man Who Fell to Earth and Zoolander. And finally, if you want to see more of the Ian character, take a big step back, get in like a horse stance, and punch yourself right in the face, because that is a stupid thing to want, and you should feel bad for wanting it. Now with that said, thank you for watching Horrible Horrors. I'm Zach Romero. Till next time.
You'll find me back in our own little garden. Always nice to get home, isn't it, children?